Well, it is Salam Media that is keeping you company during this month of Ramadan. And it is not only about Ramadan, but we are talking many other things, a combination of issues, social, socio-economic, political, you name it. We've got it covered right here on Salam Media and on the Iftar Drive this afternoon. Now, the ANC has now turned to the courts to have Jacob Zuma's party's MK deregistered. And we know that the court has actually ruled against the ANC and saying that there was nothing illegal about the MK party being registered by the IEC. And to unpack all of this and to make sense of what had happened in court, we joined by the KZN party leader, Visvin Reddy. Visvin, hi, good afternoon to you and welcome.
Good afternoon, Brother Wadi. Let me take this opportunity of wishing my Muslim brothers and sisters everything of the best during this month of Ramadan. And I pray that the Almighty's blessings will be showered upon each and every one of you during this auspicious month.
Well, thank you. We certainly do appreciate those sentiments and those kind words and those blessings, words of blessings as well. Election season obviously heating up, and all eyes actually were on KwaZulu-Natal for one simple reason. We've got the former president of the country, President Jacob Zuma, leading the MK party, but also at the same time, I know the ANC has had its close eye on MK. We know it started off with a number of issues, somehow controversial from an ANC's perspective. They were not too happy about things like the logo. And then thereafter, the whole question surrounding the party in itself, whether the party was legally registered or not.
Yes, absolutely. And you must understand why. MK, Umkhonto weSizwe party, is not just a KwaZulu-Natal-based party. It's a national political party. And the recent polls indicate that the Umkhonto weSizwe MK party is going to do exceptionally well in the forthcoming elections. Never in the ANC's wildest dreams did it expect that former president of the ANC, Jacob Zuma, would one day be behind a formation like the MK party. And understand that the satisfaction among ANC members of the ANC is at an all-time low. So ANC members have been looking for another home for quite some time now, and they found that home in the MK. Now, also polls suggest that in KwaZulu-Natal, MK party is going to lead and is going to get the lion's share of the votes. However, our own internal polling within MK is suggesting that we're going to do far better than that. We're going to win KwaZulu-Natal, and we're going to get an outright majority in the national elections. We have looked at that through very careful study of the previous election results, as well as our work, which has been very much underground for quite some time within ANC structures. And I can tell you without a shadow of doubt that ANC members are moving every single day into MK folds. Just today, 8 councillors in the Ugu municipality have deserted the ANC and have now joined MK party. And this trend is going to accelerate in the upcoming election. So naturally, the ANC is very worried, and they're resorting to all kinds of tactics. This victory in court today, where the ANC challenged the IEC over the MK party's registration. Now, I need to mention this. The ANC issued a statement, a media statement today, which is actually a joke. If you read that, you'll realize that somebody is ill-advising the ANC. In the statement, they go at lengths to try and say that their action was not directed to MK party, but to the IEC, not realizing that they expected an outcome that the court will force the IEC to deregister MK party in the election. So obviously, MK would have been adversely affected by the outcome of today's court ruling. In fact, you don't have to be a rocket scientist or a legal expert. Even a layman from the street will tell you that the ANC stood no chances against the IEC on this matter. They simply had a frivolous case. There was no need to take this to court, but they're acting in absolute desperation. This case, this victory, is not just a victory for MK Party. It is a victory for all South Africans. It is a victory for the independence of the judiciary. Remember that in the past few weeks and days, people have been questioning the role and the independence of the judiciary, especially where the ANC is involved, bearing in mind that the ANC is the ruling party in this country. So today's outcome, which did not favor the ANC, is a clear indication that the judiciary does enjoy some independence, and we as South Africans can take comfort in that. Today's victory is also a triumph of light over darkness and good over evil. The ANC represents darkness in this country, represents everything that's evil in this country. And if you look at what's going on in the country today, you realize that we're governed by a bunch of criminals and by Satan himself, because even the Speaker of Parliament has been arrested and charged for stealing millions from state coffers. So this is a bunch of crooks and criminals who have all but deserted the aspirations and of the people of this country, simply looking at how they can fill their own pockets. And these greedy politicians are now trying to come back and get another chance at going back and looting from the kitty of the citizens of this country.
Mr. Reddy, I'm going to put you on hold. I need to go for a quick ad break. We'll be back. So if you could just bear with us.
Sure. Shalom.
To Salam Media live from our headquarters in South Africa. This is Salam Media, keeping you company this Ramadan.
Discover the Africa of your dreams and surround yourself with her spectacular beauty. Relax beneath her serene sunsets and explore wildlife at its natural best. It's where the pride of Africa comes together. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve. Get to know the Big Five or cruise on an elephant safari game drive. Interact with lion and tiger cubs and enjoy world-class halal cuisine while we pamper you during your 5-star stay. Indulge in the true African experience. For reservations, call now on 042-203-1400 or visit kwantu.co.za. The Kwantu Private Game Reserve, the place of gathering.
Fulfill your zakat conveniently with Ashraful Aid. This Ramadan, let's make your zakat count. Ashraful Aid's zakat distribution is carefully overseen by external boards which ensures transparency and trust. Make a difference to those who really need it. Join us today to spread hope and compassion to those who need it most. Visit our website at www.ashrafulaid.org.
Freedom Stationery supply Marlin and Marlin Kids pens to me and my school friends. They supply just about everything we need to help us get a better education, from books to files to rulers. In fact, any any accessory we need. Freedom Stationery. Education for the nation. What does accessory mean?
From samosas and half moons to cook sisters and roti, everything between iftar and sehri makes sunfoil cooking oil an essential part of your Ramadan. Approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a healthy diet, this blessed month, give your family the best with sunfoil, because tradition just tastes better.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms, and other luxurious facilities. Conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach and other amenities, your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za. Food with love. Zakat makes it possible to establish the things that matter. It sets the foundation right for the family around the dinner table, the mothers who carry the heavy load, the children who want to play. Zakat is not just money. It is the reason why so many across the world are smiling before they sleep. Your zakat helps us continue to serve with love, with hope, because with you, we can. Give your zakat to Penny Appeal South Africa today. www.pennyappeal.org.za. Penny Appeal. Small change, big difference.
Salam Media, your spiritual companion this.
Well, the time is just gone 21 minutes past 4 as we continue with our broadcast this afternoon right here on the Iftar Drive. And we have on the line, we've got Visvin Reddy, who is the party leader for KwaZulu-Natal with the MK party. Mr. Reddy, just to continue now, what is interesting is with the formation of MK, and initially, I think even the ANC ignored the formation of the party until Mr. Zuma threw his weight behind the party. And that's when they set up, they took notice, and they saw, I would say, alarm bells ringing, because now you've got someone, the former president, who is part and parcel of this party, who's supporting this party. Is this quite a major factor?
It is, and let me just give you a little bit of history. The MK party was formed, actually the idea was conceptualized about 2 years ago. And the leadership have been very, very careful not to leak this information out. They did it so well that very quietly, the party was registered with the IEC around the 8th of September last year. And the ANC only woke up when they heard, and you quite rightly pointed out, that President Zuma had thrown his weight behind the MK party. It was then, in fact, a day later, that MK party membership grew by 1 million. 1 million in one day. And today, the membership of the MK party, I can officially confirm, sits at 10.3 million members. So just on membership alone, MK will easily win the forthcoming election. There's no question about it. So, of course, this has made the ANC extremely worried. They are running scared right now. They least expected that a party would emerge from within the ANC at a time such as this. You know, one of the former leaders of the ANC, he said that, I think it was Mandela, who said that the only way the ANC will be defeated in government is through the ANC itself. And that is exactly what is going to be unfolding in front of our eyes. Make no mistake, my aim and the aim of many of us that have joined the MK party, especially other political formations as well, is to dislodge and remove the ANC from power. They've been there for 30 years, and they cannot sit there for even 1 year more, because we have seen what the ANC has done to South Africa. And MK is going to be the only party currently that will be able to do that. It's not the DA, it's not Action SA, it's not the IFP, it's not even the EFF. It's only the MK that has the numbers strength to be able to overcome and overthrow the ANC from power.
Well, this is going to be quite an interesting election. And, you know, I was just trying to wrap my mind around all the major parties in the country. You know, you speak of the DA, you speak of the EFF, we speak of the ANC. Obviously, these are the three parties. And I was trying to wrap my mind around at whose expense or at which party's expense would these big parties be shedding votes, and who would be the biggest winners or who would be the biggest losers. And we know, we hear of the Moonshot Pact and we speak about the DA, and you've got on the other side, you've got parties like Musi Maimani's party coming up and Action SA, all of those obviously to the right of the political spectrum, but to the left, you've got the ANC, you've got the EFF, and now you've got another major player in the form of MK. And what is interesting is to see at whose expense is the ANC going to lose votes, because in all likelihood, we are going to have a coalition government, number one. And number two is we're not going to see an outright majority.
No, I think you must get that out of your system. A coalition government in this country is going to spell disaster. We have seen what has happened in municipalities that have been run by coalition. It's a complete mess. In fact, the residents in those municipalities are saying that it's better to go back to the devil that they know, or the ANC, than have a coalition. A coalition means that political parties with 1 or 2 or 3 seats, small political parties who do not actually have the democratic will of the people that's behind them, will now determine outcomes. And in all likelihood, you find that those that belong to these smaller parties lack experience or expertise of any kind to be able to sit in senior positions, like the mayor of Joburg, for example, some Gwamanda, Gwakwama, or something like that. I mean, this guy, every day I look at him and I see what he's trying to do in Joburg. It's a disaster. So we as MK, we do not want this country to go into any form of coalition. That is the reason why I have thrown my weight behind the MK party, because I know that the MK party will have a clear majority in national government, national parliament, as well as some of the provinces. So let's get this out of our systems, that a coalition government is what we are heading for. Because if that is what we're going to have in South Africa, then I feel sorry for the future of this country. It's actually going to be worse than what we had under ANC rule. The smaller parties, they're just there for positions. That's all. They can do absolutely nothing. Zilch, zero. There is no smaller party. Ask me, I'll tell you. I know this. No smaller party that can try and convince you that we will have some leverage to be able to secure benefits for its supporters. It hasn't happened before. It's not going to happen now. So the important thing to realize is that the coalition arrangements is something that was thrown out by the DA. The DA has come to a cul-de-sac in this election, because they can no longer run this narrative that they're going to win an election. Even the DA accepts that they cannot win an election, because it's become a lily-white political party. Its stance on Palestine, its support for Israel, has isolated a large sector of its own supporters. I mean, any Muslim who is seen supporting the DA today really needs to get their heads read. What's worse is any Muslim who is in parliament through the DA is actually an insult to all Muslims in this country, if not in the world. So they've lost their support of Muslims in the country. They're set to lose the Western Cape because of their stance on Palestine. And many of their supporters are going to be moving, the black supporters are moving to Action SA, Herman Mashaba's party, and Musi Maimani's party. You're now left with a lily-white support base of the DA. That lily-white support base have already started moving to the Freedom Front. So this election is going to be a huge shocker for the DA. So what the DA has done to appease its funders and appease its own voters is to say, through the Moonshot Pact, they will be able to take over governance in South Africa. And if you look at municipalities where the parties that are signatories to the Moonshot Pact, they are fighting each other, including fighting the DA. So if they can't see eye to eye now in municipalities, How on earth are they going to work together in a coalition arrangement? And here I need to make this also very clear. Why coalitions will not work? Simply because parties, principles, and value systems differ. And it will come to certain issues where you need to vote on, and it is the party's value system that will kick in. And in some cases, in most cases, they will differ from other political parties that make up this coalition arrangement. So coalition arrangements is definitely out of the question. This election is only between two parties. This is not a small Mickey Mouse election. This is a national election that's going to determine the future of this country. It's going to determine the future of our children. The election is between Ramaphosa's ANC and Jacob Zuma's MK party. The chance to remove the ANC is now. If you're going to be playing with your votes and trying to give it to smaller political parties, and the DA in this case is also a smaller political party, you are wasting that vote. You're wasting that vote. Now is the chance for you to join MK party, become a member, start influencing the direction the party is going, and start to talk to the ruling party of this country, which is Mkhonto Wesizwe and no other party. You can't convince me. I've been in this game for too long, over 30 years now. So you cannot come and convince me that supporting a smaller party is going to give you some leverage. No. All the leverage it's going to do is give one or two people some positions in parliament and in government, and you will not hear them again until the next election.
Yes, and I think just finally, we know that, there could be a lot of outcomes as far as this election is concerned. There could be likely outcomes, but obviously you've painted quite a good picture. You've given a comprehensive picture in terms of the various parties, what their positions are, the pros, the cons, and we do appreciate it. I think it's an analysis that is pretty much spot on, and your reading of the political landscape is actually spot on, Mr. Reddy, and I must commend you for that. Just looking at your campaign as MK, what is going to be the thrust of your campaign? What are the key issues that you are going to focus on? Because now you are saying confidently that you're going to unseat the ANC. What is going to be the thrust of this campaign that is going to result in you unseating the ANC?
Okay, unseating the ANC is just one part of it. We don't want to get as 40%. We're going for 2/3 majority because we intend changing the constitution. There are serious issues that is confronting our country today, affecting all our citizens, that MK is going to take head on. We don't have the time to go into that, maybe in another program, but let me just touch on briefly issues of the land. We believe that the land in this country is in the ownership of a minority white population, and they've got the land through unfair means, and the land needs to be shared. The way we do it is a matter for discussion. We want to see that those companies that are amassing huge profits from the minerals in our land, that those companies are nationalized. This includes the Reserve Bank, companies like Sasol, etc. And what it means is that the profits from those companies will assist every South African. You'll be paying less rates, paying less taxes, and our services in the country will be better. Right now, Ramaphosa and some of the leaders of the ANC have sold out the plight of the South African people. They have joined in white monopoly capital. They are in the pockets of these big companies. How did Ramaphosa become a billionaire? Ask yourself that question. How did some of these ANC leaders become billionaires? They owned no companies. They didn't invent anything. They have no businesses. They were given shares and directorships in these big white companies so that they can push an agenda in government so that their interests can be protected. Now, we must remember South Africa is an extremely wealthy country. In fact, we are one of the 10 top wealthiest countries in terms of mineral resources. Did you know that we are the largest producer of manganese in the world? Diamonds, gold, all of this. Where's the profit going to? it's not going to South Africans. It's going into the pockets of a few business people, white business people, and shared with some of these ANC leaders. That's how they sold out the cause to improve the lives of every South African. And when you look at South Africa today, we are worse off than we ever were before. In fact, a lot of people will tell you it seems that we were better under apartheid. But that is what Ramaphosa has done. Ramaphosa is a puppet of white monopoly capital. He was paid, he was supported by these big business during an ANC conference. They paid over R1 billion for him to become the president of the ANC. Why? They were after the government. They were after the state. That was the form of state capture like you've never seen or heard of before in your life that took place. They captured the state by putting in Ramaphosa, their puppet, to become the president of this country. And today, they want all our state-owned enterprises like SAA to be sold for 52 rands. They want to start selling off Eskom. They're destroying Eskom. Load shedding, friends, is caused by the ANC. Don't be misled and don't believe anything else anybody tells you. Load shedding is as a direct result of greedy ANC politicians who want to destroy Eskom, sell it for a few cents to the brother-in-law of Cyril Ramaphosa, who happens to be Patrice Motsepe, who's in this business, and they want to be able to hold the country to ransom because of energy. Now here you have a party that is the sole cause of load shedding and the misery that's associated with that. The party is solely responsible for it, and the party is coming and asking you for your vote to ask them to be re-elected into parliament. You must be a special kind of stupid if you considered voting for the ANC or any of these other parties that are in government currently. If they come and tell you that they can do any different, then they are lying to you. Secondly, if you don't have the majority in government, you can do absolutely nothing. None of your manifestos mean anything. I just thought I should inform you that the Mkhonto weSizwe Party will be launching our manifesto. It's not called a manifesto, it's called the People's Mandate. We have been spending considerable time and effort engaging with communities on the ground. And if you haven't already engaged us, this is the time that you should be around issues that affect you. And so the manifesto or the mandate that we have comes from the people of this country. It is a mandate that we want to push ahead to improve the lives of every South African. We certainly do not want to see people living in a crime-infested country. We want to see service delivery. We want to see quality education that's free and accessible to all our children. We also want to see a better quality of life, that South Africans are employed. How can we live in a country where we have the highest youth unemployment in the world, not just in Africa, but in the world? And our poverty levels are so high. You know, we are humanitarians. Salam Media is a humanitarian channel. And you understand that we always have this heart for those that have less than ourselves. And we want to go and improve their lives. That is what MK Party is all about. We want to be able to use the state, the government in this country, to improve the lives of every South African. And we will be able to do that if you give us the mandate.
Well, Mr. Reddy, you know, you and I could go on for the next hour or so, but unfortunately time has run out. But I'm sure we will touch base at some point in time, you know, as the build-up to the elections, and there'll be a lot more to actually talk about. But for now, we thank you. We do appreciate you taking time out with us right here on Salam Media.
Perfect. Thank you very much, and all the best to your viewers.
Visvin Reddy, the KZN party leader for Mkhonto weSizwe, the MK party, and with that, we're going to go for a break. We come back. There's a lot more to cover from now right until the time of iftar in Johannesburg.